Hari Om. We shall start with prayer. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Srutismrutipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Shankaram Lokashankaram. Om Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Hari Om. Today we shall see Pancha Bhuta Viveka. So, by discriminating the five elements, the great elements, Pancha Bhuta, how do we arrive at the truth? How do we come to know the truth? That is our topic today. So, Pancha Bhuta Vivek के द्वारा सत्य को जानने की प्रक्रिया. So today's talk is based upon Panchadashi talk. So that Advaita Vastu, one without a second, all pervading, homogeneous. So that all pervading Sad Vastu, we can realize it, know it by discrimination, through discrimination of the five great elements. Therefore, Pancha Bhuta Viveka, that is discriminating the five great elements, is the subject which is today's discussion. And we know, how do we begin? So we have to establish a base, a foundation to know the truth. So truth is such that we can approach different dimensions, different ways to know the truth. Panchakosha Viveka is there in Panchadashi. Tattva Viveka is there. By analyzing the three states of consciousness, Jagrat, Sushupti, Swapnavasthas, how do we know the truth? Or Dvaita Viveka, analyzing the duality of this world, how do we arrive at the truth? So the truth can be known and realized through many ways. So that is a beautiful, there are so many methods given in our Vedas and Shastras to know the truth. So today we are going to do through Panchabhuta Viveka. So what are Panchabhutas? We know Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala and Prithvi. Space, air, fire, water and earth. These are the five great elements which we see through our senses. So now, understanding them, we all know that Akasha has got one guna, sound. Akasha quality, attribute is what? Sound. And come to Vayu. Vayu guna is called what? Sparsha, sense of touch. Plus, it also carries the quality of the Akasha, that is sound. So, Vayu has got two attributes. One is Shabda, second is Sparsha. So, these two attributes are there for Vayu. And come to the third one, Agni. Agni has got his own Rupa as its own primary attribute. And other two attributes are carried or brought forward from Akasha and Vayu. So space, that is sound, and the quality or attribute of Vayu is called Sparsha, sense of touch. Both are there included in fire, and the primary guna attribute of fire is Rupa. So fire has got three properties: Shabda, Sparsha and Rupa. Three. And then come to the fourth one, water. Water is what? Taste. Rasa. Taste. The guna of water is jala is apaha is taste. So, but it includes the water also has got shabda, sparsha, rupa. All the earlier three qualities, attributes are also included in water. And then come to the earth, Prithvi Tattva. Prithvi Tattva guna is what? Gandha, smell. And this has got all the previous four gunas also are included in. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa are included in earth. Now, Vidyaranya Muni says in Pancha Bhuta Viveka that whatever we see through eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, whatever we experience through our sense organs, and whatever is perceived, grasped by the mind, and whatever has been described in the scriptures. So whatever I gain through five indriyas, mind, and whatever has been described in the scriptures, even the most insignificant one, or even whatever you call significant one which is perceived by the indriyas or the mind, everything falls under simple one word called idam. Idam means this. Idam means this. This means entire Bhuta Prapancha. Entire phenomenal world is called as idam. Idam means this because it is experienced as idam. Idam tvena janati. So it is known as this. Now all this is what Prapancham kriya. It's actually creation. It's all creation. It's all created. Now, before all these are created, before the Pancha Mahabhutas are created, what was there existing? So, Srushtehe Pura, what is that? Idam Sarvam Pura, before all this came into manifestation, Yekameva Advitiyam Sad Eva Asit. That one existence called Sat. Sat means pure existence. That pure existence alone was there before the manifestation of all these names and forms. So in another definition, what is creation? Creation means manifestation of names and forms. Nama Rupatmakam Idam Sarvam Jagat. So, and Nama Rupam, and there in that Srushtehe in the Purvam, Jagat is Nama Rupam, but in the Sat pure existence, there was no name and no form. There was neither Nama, there was neither Rupa. So Nama Rupas are not there in the pure existence. Before all this is manifested, came into manifestation, what was existing was pure Sat. And later on, in deeper meditations in Shastras, what is that Sat? Is it other than me? It is not other than me. Then I realize that Sat to be my own Swarupa. That is the later part. Now, this was actually told in all the scriptures. Srushtehe Pura. Before the creation, what was existing was Sat. So, Sat was existing before the manifestation. And after manifestation, we see the entire Bhuta Prapancham. It is all the phenomenal world of Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala and Prithvi. All the five elements. Now, what do you mean by Ekameva Advitiyam Srushtehe Pura? Whatever before the creation, there was only one thing existing. It was called pure Sat. Only one without a second. Ekameva Advitiyam. There is no second. So one without a second. It is beautifully said in English, one without a second. Second is not time here. Without second. Second means no other vastu. Bhinna vastu. Other than that, there was nothing existing. So what do you mean by that? So technically speaking, this means in the phenomenal world, whatever differences are seen, they are all dissolved in pure existence. That means the three types of differences which are seen in the world, they are all absent. Only three types of differences are possible, and all the three types of differences are absent in Sat, in pure existence. What are the three differences? It is said that three differences are Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata, Bheda. Three types of. So Vijatiya Bheda, like example, trees you take. So trees is Vriksha Jati. Vriksha Jati is completely different from Pashu Jati, and also stone, mineral, and Manushya Jati is different. So Vijatiya means there is no other than Brahman, other than Sat. Vijati. Vijati means becomes Asat only. Asat is not existing, meaning there cannot be any Asat or other than Sat. So Vijatiya Bheda, in the truth, it is not existing. Sajatiya Bheda means what? In the Vriksha Jati only, there are many types of trees. Guava tree, mango tree, palm tree, coconut tree, so many trees are there. But they all come under Vriksha Jati, the plant kingdom only. But within the plant kingdom, there are many varieties of plants. In Brahman or in the pure Sat, is it that way that there are many different Sajatiya Bheda in Brahman? No. Why? There is no question of similar Brahman existing. One Brahman alone is existing, one without a second. Sekameva Advitiyam. That means what? There is no Vijatiya Bheda, there is no Sajatiya Bheda. And third difference is Swagata Bheda. There is no Swagata Bheda means what? There are no differences within Brahman. Like plant is having, within the plant there are differences are there. Flower is not the fruit, fruit is not the branch, branch is not the trunk, trunk is not the seed or the leaves, leaves are not the roots. So many differences are there within the tree. Similarly, in Brahman, are there any parts? Is Brahman an assembly of parts, or in Brahman are there any parts in it? And it is said that there are no parts in Brahman. Therefore, all the three kinds of differences in Brahman are absent. Therefore, Sattvastunaha Bhedatrayam, in the pure existence, all these three differences are not existing, they don't exist at all, and therefore these three differences are negated in Brahman. This is what Shruti very clearly tells. It is that Advaita Vastu, one without a second it is. So therefore, in that oneness of Brahman, only oneness of Brahman is highlighted, denoted, and also it is also rejecting any kind of duality. Aikya Avadharana, Dvaita Pratishedam, both are achieved in this. Meaning, the oneness of Sat is established, and also the duality is completely negated. So duality is negated and oneness is established. And therefore, because the names and forms, Namarupas, are not existing before the creation, so we cannot say that the names and forms are there in the absolute, in unmanifested condition. That we cannot agree. Why? Because the names and forms are totally absent in pure existence, and appearance of names and forms is called creation. We have already seen that. Therefore, Sat is absolutely without parts, and Maya creates names and forms. As I said, Vijatiya Bheda, if you say there is other kind of Sat, Vijatiya Bheda, other kind of Sat, Sajatiya Bheda, Vijatiya Bheda, Vijati, other kind of, other than Sat could be Asat. Asat is non-existence. So differences are not of Sat, but only there are differences are only in manifested world. There are names and forms. There is no Asat also to say that. We are coming to Panchabhuta Viveka only. So first, this is all we have to establish a ground for our thinking in a crispy manner, in a very what you call concise manner. brief manner. We are now trying to establish. Then we will go how to do Viveka of Pancha Mahabhutas to realize the truth. Some people come here and say that everything, when it is annihilated, all differences are dissolved. Sajatiya Bheda, Dvijatiya Bheda, Swagata Bheda, which we have already seen with the example of tree, all those differences, when all the names and forms are dissolved, then they say there exist, then they say nothing existed before the creation. Nothing, there was nothing. There was nothing, nothing existed before the creation. Why? Sat is not experienced as a objectively, Sat is not experienced. There they say that Sat is not experienced like any other vastu. Because we have been used to millennia of our incarnations and so many lives, we are used to experience everything as other than I. So when all these names and forms are removed, it appears to be a blankness for me. Then I said nothing exists. So therefore, when we say philosophy actually is wrong, nothing existed, when we say this is wrong. So when I say nothing existed, see the contrary there. So we are talking about that its existence is associated with nothing, with shunya. So we say, how can shunya exist? We say shunya asti. Shunya asti means existence. When shunya, how can shunya is there? So that is wrong word. Or you cannot say that nothing is the nature of existence. Two meanings can be there. No, nothing existed means either existence, sat is associated with nothing. It cannot be, nothing cannot exist. Because shunya means shunya only. How can it exist? And second is what? You cannot say nothing is the nature of existence. Shunya is nature of existence. Sat means it is existent. But how can you call the nature of that existence as nothing? Therefore, this logic of nothing existed before the manifestation of names and forms is totally wrong. And what our Shastras very clearly say, that the asat cannot be the substratum of names and forms. Non-existence cannot be the adhara, adhisthana for names and forms. Why? So in names and forms are illusion. And illusion cannot be formed without a substratum. Without any adhara, without any adhishthanam, there cannot be any illusion. Niradhisthano brahma kvachid na ikshate. Adhisthana rahita brahma is not possible. If there is no rope, you cannot see snake there. So therefore, snake is an illusion. It's a perceptual error. But then, because of due to avidya, but snake cannot be seen on a rope unless there is a rope. Unless there is a rope, you cannot see the snake. Therefore, what is the adhara substratum for non-existing snake, non-existing illusory snake? The substratum is the rope which is existing. So therefore, when you say the names and forms can exist only on a substratum, and with illusion cannot exist without any substratum. So a substratum must be real. Substratum cannot be the illusion. Substratum cannot be the illusion. Therefore, here on this eternal principle, on the eternal base, the dance of names and forms are happening, created by Maya. So, Brahman, Suddha Vastu, the pure existence, meaning without any reference with respect to world. What we have to understand is, can I know Brahman as pure existence? He says, Sadvastu Shuddhantvam Asmabhihi Nischitaihi Anubhuyate. Shuddhantu Asmabhihi Nischitaihi Anubhuyate. That pure Sat, Shuddha Sat, can be experienced by us without any problem. When Tushnim Sita, when all the mental vrittis are dissolved, all the mental vritti thoughts are stopped, meaning all our mind became absolutely calm, mind became freed from thoughts, then there is no mind also. So when all the thoughts in the mind cease, then the truth is experienced. So na shunyatvam, what do we say? Because can we experience non-existence? शून्यता को मैं अनुभव कर सकता हूं क्या? नहीं कर सकता हूं. क्यों? क्योंकि मैं हमेशा हूं. मेरे अस्तित्व जो है हमेशा जारी है. मैं कदापि असत नहीं बन सकता हूं, क्योंकि मेरा स्वरूप ही सत है. सो वी कैन नॉट एक्सपीरियंस आवर एब्सेंस, नंबर वन. एंड इवन इफ कहते हैं कि ये एब्सेंस है, ये जानने के लिए, इवन टू नो, यू नीड ए थॉट. वृत्ति इज रिक्वायर्ड देयर टू अंडरस्टैंड नथिंगनेस अदर देन यू. माने यहां पे कोई वस्तु नहीं है, ये भी एक वृत्ति है. बट टू अंडरस्टैंड द रियलिटी, टू अंडरस्टैंड द सत्य, टू अंडरस्टैंड द ट्रूथ, नो थॉट इज नेसेसरी. सो थॉट इज नेसेसरी टू नो एनीथिंग अदर देन मी, बट थॉट इज नॉट नेसेसरी टू नो माई ओन स्वरूप. And therefore, to perceive anything other than me, I need a thought, but to know myself, no thought is necessary. Shunya buddhischa varjanat. Therefore, pure existence is what? I am existing during the thoughts, I am existing as a witness of the thoughts. When the thoughts are all there, not there, thoughts are dissolved, removed, negated, and mind became empty, even then I am there existing as illuminator of the absence. So my consciousness is such that I can illumine the presence, I can also illumine the absence. So existence is called Swayam Prakashaha, self-illumined. There is no vritti necessary to know the Brahman or me. Therefore, now how this is Maya created, the entire Pancha Mahabhuta's creation. Then if you understand, then alone we can actually discriminate Pancha Bhuta Viveka. So we are preparing the ground to understand how to do Pancha Bhuta Viveka. So as the color coatings are there, there is a big wall is there. On the wall, color coatings are painted, the color paintings are done, different figures are painted on the wall. Just as different figures are painted on the wall, similarly on the canvas of Brahman, Maya superimposes many types of figures and names and forms which are illusion. So on the Brahman itself, so what is happening, which are actually all the figures which are drawn on the wall, they are illusory, they don't exist. Puja Gurudev gives so beautiful example. When I said Puja Gurudev, my teacher, my Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananji Maharaj. Swami Chinmayananji Maharaj used to say, when you went to a house, there's a teepie. On the teepie, there's an embroidery cloth is spread there. The cloth is spread, and on the cloth you can see a table embroidered, and 4 chairs embroidered, and 4 people sitting in the chair and holding the cup of tea, and the steam is also coming. All that is all made up of what? Cotton only. So therefore the pure cotton turned into threads. So what is a cup? Cup is nothing but thread. Thread is nothing but cotton. What is the person sitting there? What is made up of? He is the person sitting there in the chair. Chair also made up of cotton and thread, and the person also made up of cotton and thread. Whatever you see in the entire embroidery is nothing but pure cotton alone, cotton alone, cotton alone. So it is somebody sitting there on a teepie, onyx spread cloth. The teapie is there, chairs are there, people are drinking coffee and tea. They are actually not illusion, they are illusion. They are nothing but illusion. They are only illusion, and in fact what is existing is only cotton. So this is illusory perception. The perception is illusory. So, an illusion and thereby covers the Brahman, supporting the Maya. So, the Maya creates all these names and forms. So, on the canvas of the Brahman, Maya paints. Maya makes that Brahman appear as though having names and forms, as though something is happening, as though movements are happening. So everything is Maya. They say, therefore, what not Maya can do? Maya can do anything. Maya is capable of doing anything. Therefore, in that, on that Brahman, these elements are painted. So now, coming to the Bhuta Viveka. On that first expression, first paint is what? Like Vijnana Muni says in the Chitradeepa Prakarana, the cloth is there. First it is stiffened, and then outlines are drawn of the images. Then the color coating is done, and then all this thing, the Chitrapatam, the entire picture is ready on the cloth, canvas. So therefore, when the first painting Akasha, so Akasha is the first modification of Maya. So the first modification of Maya, Vikara of Maya is Akasha. Akasha is space. And what is the nature of Akasha? That gives you Avakasham, space, room for things to exist. So it gives room to things to exist and expand also. So the room is there. So Avakasham Dadati. So Akasha gives Avakasha, the room. So that's the guna of Akasha. And Akasha is deriving, Akasha, the space is deriving its existence from Brahman. How can Akasha exist without Brahman? How can snake exist without rope? The existence of snake, existence in the snake is drawn from the existence of rope. Snake has no independent existence apart from rope. Similarly, Akasha also has not got any independent existence other than Sat. So Akasha derives its existence from Brahman. What is Brahman? Substratum. Immediate substratum is called Brahma Vastu, Sat Vastu. On that, Akasha is the first Vikara created by Maya. So, here, Ekasvabhavam Satatvam, Akasho Dvisvabhavakaha. Now, what is the nature of Brahman? Only one Tattvam. That is what? Nature of Brahman is Ekasvabhavam. Only pure existence it is. Nature of Brahman is what? Pure existence alone. And Akasha has both existence and also space. Avakasha is there and Avakash ke piche existence. Both are there in Akasha. So Akasha exists and also Akasha has got the capacity to give room, space. So these two are there. So therefore, Akasha Dvisvabhavakaha. Akasha is having this kind of two things are there. So Akasha, when I say its existence is there and Akasha property is the giving room, these two are there. So therefore, and Akasha has got the sound also property guna. Attribute is giving the room, dharma, and the guna is what? Sound, Shabda Gunam. And this Shabda Brahman does not have. This is what Viveka now we are doing. So Akasha is drawing its existence from Brahman. Akasha attribute is giving the room, Avakasha. Its guna property is sound. But in Brahman, there is no sound. Brahman has not got quality of sound here. So, therefore, Akasha has two properties. What are they? Sound and existence. Whereas Brahman has only pure existence. This is called Bhuta Viveka. Okay, this is means Akasha is giving Shabda Gunam and Akasha gives room space. Akasha has got existence also, because Akasha should exist. And existence is drawn from the pure Sat, which is Adhishtanam, which is substratum. In Brahman, there is no sound. In Brahman, there is only Eka Swabhavam, that is pure existence. Now, what is Maya doing here? Maya does something trick. It exchanges the properties. It says, Ya Shaktihi Kalpayed Vyoma Sa Sad Vyomnoho Abhinnatam Apadya Dharma Dharmitvam Vyatyayena Avakalpayet. He says very clearly that power of Maya which is superimposing Akasha on Brahman, power of Maya creating Akasha, superimposing Akasha on Brahman, it creates an illusion of the exchange of properties, positions, exchange of positions or properties. The Dharma and Dharmi. Dharmi is substance. Dharma is attribute. Now Dharma Dharmi, so Sad Vyomnoho Abhinnatam. Then because these Dharma Dharmi exchange, attributes are both exchanged. Meaning what? I just tell you in simple language. Space, we say space exists. Meaning what? We have made, listen, remember. Space exists. It is a wrong statement. Why? Space became dharmi, substance. Existence became dharma, property. When I say space exists, space is substratum, it becomes dharmi, substance, and existence become dharma. Is it so? No, it is not correct, because existence is dharmi, space is a superimposed attribute superimposed by Maya. But for me, existence and Akasha become one. So that power of Maya, which is superimposing Akasha on Brahman, it creates an illusion of the exchange of these properties or positions of the substance and attributes, meaning dharmitvam and dharma, they interchange, they exchange. So when we say space exists, we think space is substratum and existence is its attribute. That is the wrong thing. Existence is adhara, substance, and the attribute is what? Space is a superimposed thing. But we ulta करके हम बोल देते कि आकाश अस्ति करके, आकाश है, हम इसे गलत करते हैं. This is called Bhuta Viveka. So we have to separate existence. अभी क्या होगा? सतोहो व्योमनत्वम आपन्नम व्योमनः सत्ताम तो लौकिकाः तार्किकाश्च अवगच्छन्ति मायया उचितं हि तत्. Now the Sat, pure existence, is attained or became like, not becomes. It doesn't really become. Rope becomes snake. It doesn't become actually, as though appears as space. The Brahman, the Sat is appearing as Akasha, as space now. But worldly people, Laukikaha, Tarkikaha, logicians, Laukikaha, and those who lack wisdom and discriminative power, or those who lack the scriptural way of understanding the truth, शास्त्र ज्ञान परिज्ञान जिनमें नहीं है और तार्किक लोग हैं, दे अंडरस्टैंड, क्या करते हैं? तार्किकाः अस्च अवगच्छन्ति मायाया उचितं हि तत्. That is, they exist, they think existence, सत्य became guna, property of Akasha. ऐसा करके उल्टा करके सोचते हैं. But that is not the truth. So Akasha is there. So when Akasha, when you see, Infinite it is. Infinite space. In fact, we cannot see Akasha, we only infer the Akasha. Because that which is giving Avakasha, room space, is called Akasha. And it is a Maya superimposed on Brahman. First Vikara. Later on, Avayu, Agni will come. Now, what is the cause or Adhisthana? That is Brahman. Adhishtanataya Karanam. Brahman alone is the Karana, cause. So then what is the philosophy, that the principle cause pervades the effect, mud pervades the pot, gold pervades the ornament, Brahman pervades the space. And Akasha, which is a Bhuta created as a superimposed Vikara by Maya, itself is infinite and itself is as though it is all pervading, Akasha, which you cannot cut it actually into two. It is too subtle. Uska bhi karan. It is so powerfully all pervading, Brahman. But this erroneous perception कि आकाश को आधार बना दिया, अस्तित्व को उसका धर्म बना दिया, this kind of erroneous perception is due to effect of Maya. Think. When we say Bhagavan, we say Ulta, Akasha Hasti, Vayu Asti. This is wrong thing. So therefore, bhinne vyasyati shabda vedat buddhescha bhedataha. So therefore, Brahman and Akasha are separate. Viveka. They are completely separate. Their names are different. Shabda vedat, buddhescha bhedataha. Ideas and properties, what they convey, that also is different. And Brahman, and moreover, Brahma pervades all other four elements. Air, Brahma pervades. Because Adhara, no? Sabka Adhar hai. So Brahma is pervading Akasha, Brahma is pervading Vayu, Brahma is pervading Agni, Brahma is pervading Jala, Brahma is pervades the entire Prithvi Tattva. And all other objects Brahman pervade. But Akasha is not the case like that. So therefore Brahman pervades air and other objects also. Brahma is sabke saath hai. But Akasha has this one, the substance, the element, it is not when air, fire, etc. सबका आधार है, आकाश में ही स्थित है, मगर आकाश का जो special properties are there, the Akasha itself is absent in other four. So therefore, the entity Sat being pervading, whole powerfully pervading, that is called Asad Vastu, and Akasha is only its modification created by Maya. Its Akasha is less pervading, Brahman is more pervading, that we will see later on. Because in Brahman, in one corner Maya is there. In that Maya, one aspect of, in a small portion, Akasha is superimposed. In that Akasha, a small portion area, air is superimposed. That will come. Little only. So therefore, if somebody says, no, space is existing independent of the Brahma Vastu. If you say Akasha is independent of the pure existence which is substratum, तब आकाश की स्थिति क्या होगी? वो शून्य बन जाता है, माने it becomes non-existent. Because सत्ता के साथ जो वस्तु जुड़ा नहीं, वो असत बन जाएगा. एग्जिस्टेंस हटा दिया जाए, सत्य को हटा दिया जाए, तो वो वस्तु असत बन जाता है. तो आकाश से एग्जिस्टेंस सत्ता को अलग कर दिया जाए तो आकाश ही नहीं रहेगा. देखिए, तो आकाश स्वतंत्र नहीं है. ठीक है. और कहोगे नहीं, आकाश असत से भी भिन्न है, सत से भिन्न है, नहीं सत से भिन्न नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है, असत हो जाएगा. तो नहीं, आकाश असत से भी भिन्न है, सत से भिन्न होने से असत हो जाएगा. अब कहोगे वो आकाश असत से भी भिन्न है, तो सत्य और असत्य के भिन्न से, सत्य और सत्य के सत्य असत्य के अलावा और कुछ है ही नहीं तीसरा वस्तु। या तो सत्य है या असत्य है। सत्य भी नहीं है, असत्य भी नहीं है। इन दोनों से भिन्न और कोई वस्तु है? कुछ भी नहीं है। फिर कोई कहेगा ओके, आकाशा इज सीन बट maybe we can infer akasha. So Vijayaraman says, let it be seen. That is the glory of Maya. Yamasa Maya. That is the glory of Maya, which makes us see that which is not there. That's the glory of Maya. So therefore, any vastu yad asadbhasamanam tan mithya swapna gajadivat. So that asat bhasamanam, whatever is appearing, any vastu, appearance of any vastu, which is actually non-existent. Why it is appearance only, is an illusion. How? Like elephant seen in dream. Dream, you cannot see elephant. What is how can the elephant be, what's a dream elephant is an illusion, it is not existing. When I wake up, it is not there. When as long as I am under the influence of dream effect, that is seen. देखिए, so therefore the confusion of existence, jati vyakti, like otherwise dehi deha, we see both as one, no? Sharira shariri alag hai. The physical body and the one residing in the body, consciousness, jiva is different, but दिखने में दोनों एक साथ ही दिखते हैं. That is illusion. गुण द्रव्य, सब्सटेंस और प्रॉपर्टी दोनों साथ में रहते हैं. एक्चुअली सब्सटेंस अलग है, गुण अलग है. देयरफॉर ये जाति व्यक्ति, एक जाति और व्यक्ति, जाति के साथ व्यक्ति को जुड़ा जाता है, बट एक्चुअली दिस टू आर सेपरेट. सिमिलरली दिस इज एक्चुअली एग्जिस्टेंस हैज टू बी सेपरेटेड फ्रॉम एयर, फ्रॉम वाटर, फ्रॉम अग्नि, फ्रॉम पृथ्वी, फ्रॉम आकाशा. सो एग्जिस्टेंस इज सबका आधार है. सो व्हेन वी सेपरेट दिस Bhuta Viveka, when we do, we will actually be conscious of existence always. And therefore, how do we know this truth then? Very difficult to know the truth. Why? Very subtle to discriminate Akasha and Brahman. How difficult it is. So therefore, it is possible to know that Apramattaha Dhyanat Adye Anyasmin Vivechanam. Apramatto Bhava Dhyanat. So first, become through meditation, become attentive. Fix the mind through meditation. Then Anyasmin Adye Anyasmin Vivechanam, study the matter carefully with the help of Shastra, with the help of reasoning. You study the subject matter very thoroughly. Oh, this is how it is, this is how it is, this is how it is. Then Vivechanam Kuru Pramana Yuktibhyam Tata Rudhatamo Bhavet. So with the Pramana, Shastra Pramana, when you study all these things, it becomes firm in our understanding that Akasha is superimposed. Akasha is Panchamahabhuta में पहला विकार है, वो तो superimposed. Similarly Vayu, similarly Agni, similarly Jala, similarly Prithvi, all these things are superimposed. Therefore, ध्यानान मानात युक्तितोपि रूढ़े भेद भेदसतोः न कदाचिद वियत सत्यम सद्वस्तु चिद्रवन नच. Beautiful thing. He says very clearly, when through a law of meditation, Brahman and Akasa, when they are known to be separate through meditation, then Akasha will not appear as real. Na kadachit viyat satyam. Akasha will never appear as real to us. We know, we can see it, but understanding is that it is only appearance. I know there is no water there. It is all mirage water. But even after knowledge, I can see the water. But after seeing the water, after getting the knowledge that there is no mirage, it is only water seen, mirage water, not real water, I got this knowledge. After this knowledge also, I continue to see the mirage water, but I have got the discrimination, Viveka. What is seen is not real. With that understanding, I live in this world. So the Brahman, which is all pervasive, Maya is imagined only in a part of Brahman, as I said, and in that Maya, a small portion localized is space. In that part of space, in some portion, air is imagined. In small portion, of space, air is imagined. Air may be there in different solar systems, different galactic centers, we don't know. But small portions only it could be located. And once we know this knowledge, I'm concluding in 5 minutes now. Once we gain this knowledge, what will happen? That I separated pure existence with my understanding through meditation, through Shastra, Pramana, all those things, and then I become very clear that I am the existence. When I reach that state, what will happen? Bhagavan Krishna's words we remember, Esha Brahmi Siti Partha Nayanam Partha Vimuhyati. Nayanam Prapya Vimuhyati. Stitvam Asyam Antakale api Brahma Nirvana Mruchati. See Krishna, Arjuna, Esha Brahmi Siti, this state of Brahman, this state of existence, if you realize, you will never again be deluded. Deluded as what? This Jagat Satyam Brahma Mithya for us. For ignorant people, Jagat Satyam Brahma Mithya. Why Brahman is not seen? For knowledgeable people, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So this truth we get established in it. That's called Siddha Prajna. And then Stitva Asyam Antakale api. Even the fag end of life, if you realize and establish yourself in that pure existence, I am Brahman, then you attain that supreme state called Brahman. In this existence, if you remember. So how to get this knowledge? So therefore, knowledge of the Veda is required. Very beautiful thing. And it's daily, like whatever knowledge you gained in waking plane, you forgot during the dream state and deep sleep state, it is not available. But when you wake up, knowledge again comes back to you. You will not forget. That means this knowledge, what is gained, is never lost. That's what Vidyaranya Muni says. So therefore, through the Pramanutpadita Vidya, Pramanam Prabalam Vina Nanashyati. So that knowledge which is gained through Pramana, through a valid means, I gained a knowledge. And whatever has been gained through valid means, Pramana, that will never be destroyed unless there is a powerful valid means other than the means what I adopted in gaining knowledge. If there is some other means is given to me, then my knowledge, my understanding may change. But the conclusion is what? Vedantat Prabalam Manam Ikshate. There is no powerful means of knowledge other than Vedanta. Therefore, whatever we study through Shastras, Panchabhuta Viveka we do, we can really establish ourselves, and Vedanta is Prabala Pramanam. So through that Prabala Pramana, when I know the truth, thereafter that we will never forget the truth. That knowledge will never be lost. Because why? There is no stronger Pramana than Vedanta to disclaim or to cut this or to negate this kind of Pramana and establish some other knowledge. That is not possible. Tasmat Vedanta Samsiddham Sadadvaitam Nabadhyate. Therefore, that Vedanta ke dwara, through Vedanta, understanding Vedanta, when one is firmly established in Advaitam, Sadadvaitam Nabadhyate, that will never be falsified. That becomes so firm that Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi, they are all superimpositions. They are vikaras of Maya. They are all located in small portion and areas in Brahma, in Maya, in the space, then air, etc. 1/10 of air, small space in the air, small portion is Agni. All those things are mentioned, but ultimately the existence is supporting. So when I am using Vedanta Pramana and gain knowledge, that Pramana gives me stronger understanding that cannot be falsified anytime. Tasmat Vedanta Samsiddham Sadadvaitam na Badhyate. It will never go away. Antakale api ataha Bhuta Viveka Nivritti Sthita. So even in the last minute also, this knowledge is not taken away. Therefore, discrimination of the elements, that is Antaka Ataha Bhuta Vivekat Nirvriti Sthita. When we understand through this Bhuta Viveka, Pancha Bhuta Viveka, through discrimination of these 5 Pancha Mahabhutas, what we get? We get established ourselves. We enjoy that real peace. Nirvriti Sthitaha. We are established in peace in our heart. that Brahma Nirvana Mruchyati, or we attain that supreme Brahman, as which is called as supreme peace. Because all the names and forms which are created, they are nothing but modifications of Pancha Mahabhutas, and these names and forms we give status of reality, and therefore they are tossing us up and down every day, every moment, and therefore we are caught up and lot of many complications in the mind. All these things can be avoided if we understand that all Pancha Mahabhutas are superimposed on Brahman, and all other names and forms, vikaras, are nothing but modifications of Pancha Mahabhutas only. The names and forms are created out of Pancha Mahabhutas, therefore they are also illusion. When we understand this and established in this form wisdom and holding on to the Lord with devotion and with Shastra Jnanam, with Guru Bhakti, slowly we will establish ourselves in that Brahman, and for once for all we will be liberated from samsara. So this is how the Panchabhuta Viveka is beautifully presented in Panchadashi by Sri Vidyaranya Muniji. I thank you all for patient listening. May Puja Gurudev and Guru Parampara bless all of you. I thank our Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji Maharaj, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share some of the thoughts on Panchabhuta Viveka. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Shubham. Swasti.